Hello, my name is Jason Rizos. I am a writer and college educator in Portland, Oregon, and I'm here to talk to the Young Turks audience about voting today. I know that many of you probably do vote, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about it. I am in Oregon, so we have a vote by mail system, which is a really excellent way of voting. It's the way the whole country should go. We have about a 10% higher voter turnout rate per election because of this system and this convenience. But more than the convenience is the opportunity to become educated. So I'm sitting down here with my Republican Party official primary nominating ballot, as I'm registered as a Republican here in Oregon. And I wanted to show, first to encourage you to go and figure out any way you could possibly receive an absentee ballot from your own state. And if you get online and you look it up, if you just type in absentee ballot and your state name, you're going to find immediately the top result, information on how you can get an absentee ballot. Most of the time you have to have some qualifying situation, being out of town, being sick or something like this. But oftentimes the umbrella of possibilities is so broad you can just have a reason, So I encourage you to do that. I'm not encouraging you to break the law, but I encourage you to get an absentee ballot just so it gives you an opportunity to study up on the issues. And I'm going to study up here today on the representative for Congress. This is a national ballot. This is going to be Oregon's 3rd district. And we have 2 possible candidates from the Republican Party. We have one Ronald Greene and one Delio Lopez. So here, if it's not already obvious, what you're going to do, so you can cast the best ballot you can, is do a little research on the candidates. I've got my computer open here right in front of me. I'm going to now search for these candidates. I'm going to type in Ronald Greene. Okay, I already did, so fine. Ronald Greene, 3rd It's really hard to find. Sometimes you're just going to have to use a little Google foo, and you're going to have to type in the candidate's name, you're going to have to type in the district, you're going to have to type in Congress, but you're going to find them. And you're going to want to go through these, and you want to make sure you're voting for the best person, not just down the line, to one single party, not just showing a party affiliation and commitment, regardless of the candidates or the issues, because that's exactly what's getting our country into all the trouble, is this 2-party system. So we're going to vote for the best people, knowing full well that they're sort of trapped by the 2-party system. We get a holding on the issues. I see something on full employment policy. I see, okay, so everyone wants us to have full employment. I'm not going to even read that one. It's probably good. I read how to stop illegal immigration. And it goes on, it asks a few questions, and then it gets to the issues at the end of the paragraph, and it says solution. Repeal NAFTA, GATT, and get out of the WTO and encourage other countries to do the same. Many people immigrate to America because of free trade agreements, contrary to the hype, hurting the working class and middle class of every country. So that's, to me, a good policy based on what research I've done on NAFTA and GATT and problems with the WTO in North America. So that right there is a really progressive policy for me. So I'm already liking this guy. Down the list we see something made on Social Security, a statement that says the money for this generation's Social Security was prepaid by the baby boomers in the form of higher FICA taxes. It was an agreement that the federal government must honor. So there you have it. This is the big debate on Social Security. Is it solvent? Are we bankrupting it? Why isn't there enough money in Social Security? It's because a lot of this money has been misallocated by the government to pay for things that have no relationship with Social Security. So to see that he's on board with this is also a plus. And believe me, I'm not cherry picking these. I literally just pulled up the website and was just scanning through it. I just got my ballot in the mail, about to make this video. But I wanted to be fair, and I wanted to look up Delio Lopez for Congress. So here I am on Delio Lopez's site. She was easy to find, dlopezforcongress.com. And right there on the main site, I've got positions, and a little drop-down thing shows me jobs, property rights, environment. I mean, look at what the internet has done for us that we've just never had the opportunity to find as civic-minded citizens in the past. Just the convenience and opportunity to find information here on these issues. So I'm going to go down to environment, because the environment's really important to me here in Oregon. First thing I'm reading here in this paragraph is something about the spotted owl. She's going on about the spotted owl. Problems with the owl. Turns out that there's some rodenticide and things like this, and this is not giving me any position, so I'm scanning through this. And then I get to a statement, before we came and started managing the forest, lightning strikes would cause forest fires. Already, a flag is going up in my head that the forests had problems before we were cutting down the trees because of the lightning strike. So somehow we've made the forest better by cutting them down. I've heard this before, and that's a real red flag for me. She goes on to say, If we opened up logging with a managed clear-cut burn system, we could improve the health of forests and employ thousands of Oregonians. Okay, patently untrue. Clear cutting, okay? We're not even saying that we're going to do this sort of, selective cutting. We're going to do things that keep the forest healthy. We're going to say, hey, clear cutting, it keeps the forest healthy. This is the sort of thing you want to know about before you vote for a person, whether you like the Republican Party platform, whether you like everything else about it, as you really have to go through and look at these individual candidates. This is why we have a democratic system in this country of voting. This is why we have a primary process. And what I feel we have done as Americans is really let down ourselves and our system by no longer participating in this. We become immersed, and we spend, a lot of us that are politically mindful of their society and of their community, spend so much time consuming so much media, but they hand that over to the media outlets and the media corporations and the cable TV news pundits and things like that, which give you an idea that the battle lines are being drawn on gay marriage and on these other throwaway issues that are really sensationalistic, and they get lots of views and they get lots of ratings, and it's a total distraction. So if you're going to waste your time, and oftentimes you are wasting it by consuming that kind of media, and I give the Young Turks credit because they bring up these direct issues and they call out a lot of the bullshit you find in the mainstream media, which I don't feel is biased in any way, the mainstream media. I just feel like it consists entirely of idiots and morons, to be perfectly honest. These people are completely clueless, and it's not their fault. They didn't get where they are by being bad at what they do. They're just good at being patsies, so to speak, of whoever happens to be talking at the time. So they don't really ask hard questions. They don't really challenge candidates, because that's how you lose your job in those businesses, to be perfectly honest, is asking these hard questions. And then of course you've got news outlets like Fox News that are just literally just trying to tear down the institution of journalism in general, but we won't go there. I just wanted to close by showing that this is, if it's not obvious, this is something you should spend your time doing as an American citizen. Is you should spend some time, if you can't get a hold of an absentee ballot, then you're just going to have to take crib notes and you're just going to have to do this yourself. But if you can, you're going to get a wonderful list of the candidates, a wonderful list of the issues, and you get the full text. Another page came here, the full text of ballot titles. And you could read through these, but it's not oftentimes enough to read the exact verbiage of these ballot initiatives. Here's one to continue funding of local libraries. Who wouldn't want to do that? And it talks about how it's not even going to cost us any more money. We're just going to assess more fees on renewing books, So, but that's not always enough. You have to read up on it, and you have to see what people are saying about it, and you have to become informed yourself. Because honestly, that is all there is to it, to saving our democracy in this country. Politicians want to be elected. That's all they care about. That's all they want. They might not even be informed on the issues. They might not even be good leaders. They might not even be experts in the fields in which they are sitting on panels and on committees. But they do know that they want to get reelected, and they will do whatever it takes. And right now, doing whatever it takes consists of capitulating to corporations in order to get campaign finance. And unless we're going to reframe and fix our campaign finance laws, we're going to have to take the country back as citizens ourselves. We're going to have to figure out who these people are and not look at who has the most posters, because honestly that's how so many people for so many generations have decided on their vote. Who's got the most posters, who's got the most television ads, and then maybe, what was the last television ad you remember hearing and what did it say, So instead of this great propaganda war deciding our elections, let's just look at it like this, let's just see what these candidates actually have to say. And I can't believe how great of a point has been made here. I don't know enough about Ronald Greene, but already I know that I do not want this Delia Lopez sitting on the United States Congress just because of her position on the forests here. I could keep going. Those who believe global warming is a problem and carbon is contributing, come on, should be behind this plan. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so she's in favor of supporting those people, even though she implicitly argues that she doesn't believe it. Should be behind this plan. When a tree dies in the forest and begins to decay, the carbon it has inhaled is released into the atmosphere. Oh my goodness, you're right. If we could just cut down these trees and turn them into lumber and put them into lumber products, then they would never make it back into the atmosphere. Is that what she's arguing here? So if the tree is 80, it will release 480 tons of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. If the same tree is cut down for lumber and homes are constructed of the wood, with the carbon remains locked in the dwelling. She's really saying that. She is really saying if we could only get rid of all these trees, we will get rid of our carbon emissions problem. Honestly. Never mind the fact that trees breathe carbon dioxide. Never mind the fact that homes will be torn down and destroyed. This is the most egregious that I've happened upon. I'm reading this for the first time. Environmental statement I've ever heard from any candidate. And it's just patently untrue. I mean, I get it. You want to help. You want to manage the forest. You want to bring in jobs. You want to do all these things. But this is completely off base. You know, this is just, she has no sense of reality. And so I am not going to cast my vote. I will fill in my bubble here for a different candidate. And I hope that this video has been informative to you about why and how you should cast your vote.